Hopefully having a wonderful morning. Happy New Year. Tomorrow night. Already. It's just like Christmas just happened. Wild. But Happy New Year. I got my food to cook out for tomorrow. Then I'm going to take a nice power nap after I get up and cook. And then get up and it's party time. You better believe that. What the heck did I just spell? Oh, this is just not good. Already? There we go. Okay, let's get live on TikTok. We're live on TikTok. Good morning. Got the fire. It is cold here. Oh my gosh, it's cold. I gotta get this fire going. It is really cold here. And windy. Matter of fact, I gotta check in with Mr. Buffalo. Let's see how his weather is in Buffalo. Alright, hold on. Let's call Chris. They must be getting pounded by lake effect snow. Pounded. And the winds. There's garbage cans blown all over here.
Did you see the stuff I sent you?
I have not. I downloaded. I haven't looked at it, but I'm calling. How is the weather in Buffalo? Dude? I'm live streaming, by the way, so.
Well, it's calm now, but you should look at the stuff that I sent you yesterday.
Okay. Did you get snow?
Snow? We had it was like almost a hurricane.
My gosh.
They had 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Wait till you see Lake Erie. You talk about the restaurant that's close to us right near, because we're not that far from the water. The restaurant that we go to all the time was unbelievable. The parking lot was flooded. They destroyed a car. It was great. It was freezing rain.
That's dangerous.
I'll tell you, take a look. I sent them to you on Messenger, but take a look at the videos. When you see those videos, you can share them but people go, "Oh my God, it was bad yesterday. It was really, really bad."
I'm gonna check now on Messenger, on Face. The Book of Face. Hold on. I'm going to your thing now. I want to see what the heck is going on. Chris sent an attachment. Oh my God, you sent a bunch. Alright, I gotta see if I can download these. Shit. I'm going to have to. Is it I got a Book of Face. Oh my God! I'm seeing the car being hit by the waves of Lake Erie. Oh my gosh!
That's nothing. Wait till you see the other one.
Oh my God! I gotta download this. Hold on. I have a thing that I use. Let me see if it'll work. I gotta show them. Download. This is a little tricky. Download in HD quality. Okay, I got that one. Now I'm gonna go to the other one. Oh my God! Look at it, snow. Look at that. Oh my gosh, Chris. That's bad. But I'm gonna look at the other one now. Hold on. How many videos did you send?
What's that?
How many videos did you send?
I think 2 or 3.
All right, let me see.
That's maybe 3 miles away.
Okay, you sent 2. I'm gonna copy link. Download another video. Download. All right, let me check these 2 out. I got both of them. All right, but everything's calm now. It's windy here still a lot. We had 50-mile-per-hour gusts over here.
Yeah, this gets crazy. Man.
There's a lot of debris like around, like yesterday when I was driving at night to pick up somebody at work. There was debris all over the streets.
Oh, I just sent you a picture of the canal. Look up Buffalo Canal. Wait till you see the debris that's in the canal. It's all clogged up.
Wow. How much snow did you get though?
Very little snow.
Okay.
A dusting at the most. But
So the wind was the issue.
the winds were so bad you couldn't see the roads.
Wow, what? That's bad. That's bad. All right, I'm gonna go check out your videos now.
All right, man.
Call me if anything.
All right.
Bye. Wow. Well, why don't we take a look? I don't know what the video is going to pop up on what monitor. This one. Okay, let's rewind. Oh shit, what did I just do? I messed up. I want to pause. Oh my God. This is bad. Holy. Look at the lake. Look at the water. Wow. Wow. That is horrific. Now let's look at the other video. Holy. Wait. We got to get rid of all that nonsense on the screen. That was the same car. Why are you standing out there? Get in the car. People watch. Get in the car and get home to safety. What are you doing? It's not a joke. It's not a game. This is serious. This is bad. You're taking so much risk. So they got pound. It's windy here right now. My garbage can blew over. That's all that I noticed so far on the property. The garbage cans are over. It's still windy here. We're still under a wind advisory. I see that you have no power, Storm Chaser. So it's pretty bad still. And it's getting bitter cold. Yesterday was in the upper 40s. It's got to, I don't know, I went out briefly to take care of the cans and put the garbage to the street, walk the dog, feed the cats, that kind of deal. With the wind chill, let me see what it feels like. I'm just going to be curious because I'm really good at gauging. It's sunny now, very windy. Oh, it's cold, but it's hard to tell the temperature because of the wind chill. It's gotta be like 36 degrees. Alexa, what's the temperature?
It's 28 degrees right now.
28.
28 and low of 21 today. There's a wind advisory in effect until 6 p.m. with gusts up to 45 miles per hour.
Gusts up to 45 till 6 p.m.
Outdoor objects.
What is the wind chill right now?
The wind chill is making it feel like 24 degrees right now.
What is
That
the
wind advisory is no joke. Those 45 miles per hour gusts will make it feel even colder when you're outside.
and what's the wind chill right now? It's got to be like 22.
You're close. It's actually 24 degrees right now. But that wind advisory with 45 miles per hour gusts will make it feel even colder when you're outside.
Wow. And is there a wind advisory for Cumberland, Pennsylvania?
Yes, Cumberland County has a wind advisory until noon today with gusts up to 55 miles per hour. The National Weather Service is warning you to secure outdoor objects and use extra caution when driving, especially in high-profile vehicles.
So till noon for your time, 55 mile per hour gusts. What did I tell you about this weather coming?
That's right. The advisory runs
Alexa,
until
stop.
noon.
I told you this was coming on the models. I told you a few days ago. You think I make the weather up? When I do the forecasting, I'm looking at the models. I predicted this days ago. With the Euro, of course, not the American model. The Euro. I'm not a fan. All right, let me see what the weather is now. Even though the American is kind of reliable a day out, maybe two. Otherwise, it's Euro. There, you could see the wind on the model. It's right there. Look at these winds sweeping down. And this is cold air coming down. This is some cold air. Look at this. It's 17 in Albany. Where I am, it's 23. It's cold. Let's check the country. And California has been getting rain again. And look, the winds are coming down, so they're chilling out down here too. Look at this. It's in the 30s right now. Look how far south. Look at this. In Raleigh, 32 degrees. Look how cold it is here. Austin's 44. Dallas is 37. Look at points down south. In Louisiana, it's 41. Look at this. In Mississippi, right on the Gulf Coast, it's 39 degrees. It's freezing. Look how cold it is. That's right now. So now let's take a skip. And the winds are continuing. It's going to be cold. Now, you still have this cold air coming, driving down. It's still going to be cold. It's kind of quiet, even though there's a little system here off of California. Now, more wind, bitter wind on New Year's Day, with possibly a system developing right here. It's a little too late to give us any significant snow, but still. The majority of the country's quiet, but look at California again, getting that onshore flow again. Onshore. Again. Not as bad as the last one, but it's still. So Thursday is going to be windy for us. You too, Storm Chaser. And then maybe a warm-up, as you could see the wind coming from the south in the Gulf and bringing up the warmer air here. There's still the cold pocket here on the East Coast. But this could produce some storms up in here eventually, because you have the warm air coming up, colder air coming down. You could see storms in here. It's a little too early to tell. But there's potential there Friday for stormy weather in here. It's all about the models. And now you could see the wind coming from the south and the warmer temperatures. It's starting to warm it up. And whatever precipitation is going to shift to the east. And more cold air coming down, but not as bad. Not too bad. I'm looking for the next storm system. I can't, this model's going too far out now. These clippers just keep coming down, these systems from Canada, but they're staying, the low pressures are staying to the north. But look how cold those temperatures are again for us here in the Northeast. Teens at 11 a.m. on Monday. Now, I'm not going to go any further because the models are not that reliable at that out. But it's going to be cold for quite some time here. You're going to rebound down south. And another system coming in here, but that's a model that's old. Can't be trusted. It's too far out. So there you go. Listen to it. It is crazy windy gusts right now. You could hear it howling through the, I won't call it mountains, but very large hilltops. And you could hear the wind just going and traveling through the valley. Because I'm on the top a little bit. It bottoms out where the road is. There's a big hillside on that side, and then where I live, it goes up to the Hudson River. So the wind just like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. Check my camera. Probably the tarp one would be better. The front door. I gotta charge the batteries. Oh yeah, things are moving like crazy. It depends on the wind gusts. Look at the tarp. Look at those objects here hanging on this light post. You can even see the treetops moving, and with no leaves and they're moving like that, the wind gusts. And it's gusts. It's not a sustained wind. It's the gusts that you're concerned about. It's not sustained. Meaning, it might feel calm for a second, and all of a sudden you get that wind gust, and it's like 40 miles per hour. It's like, whoa! And driving, that's another issue. Especially tractor trailers, high-profile vehicles, especially over a bridge. That is so dangerous for those drivers that do so much for all of us transporting goods across the country, and those people deserve so much credit for what they do for all of us, because they are a major part of our supply chain in this country. See, I don't even hear the wind right now. I'm waiting for a wind gust. Nothing yet. Isn't that funny? Now that we're looking for it, nothing's happening. It's going to be windy. It's going to take time for the winds to subside. It's going to, even though you have a wind advisory till noon, 55 mile per hour today, Storm Chaser, it's going to be windy all day. I mean, it's going to take time for those winds to subside. It's going to go into the night. It's not going to just end. It'll go down to 30 mile per hour gusts, 40 mile per hour gusts, 20 mile per hour gusts, but it's going to last till tomorrow. It's going to take time for the winds to subside. It's not like a switch and it goes off and all of a sudden. Now that does happen if it's a thunderstorm front. You'll get the frontal winds, and then once the system clears by, it could totally be calm. Totally be calm. But then usually behind that front, you'll get the winds from the system itself, and it could pick up, shortly thereafter the initial front moves through. But there usually is like it gets calm right after the front moves through, and you're like, whoa. But then the winds will start to pick up as the system is pushing away the backside of the system. Usually. Okay, I'm hearing a little howl. Not much. I can hear it coming from the northwest. I can hear the wind to my left of where I'm sitting. And the cats are, thank God, safe in those houses. They're heated. They're in there. The cats are not, they're smart. They know to be in there heated. And there's one in each house. And it's adorable. It is actually adorable. But yeah, it's a little tough today. Let's try the other camera. It's nice. It's sunny. It's freezing. It feels like 24 with the wind. It's freezing. And that snow is not melting anytime soon because it's going to be below 32 freezing point. So it's going to stay freaking snowy on that ground for foreseeable future. I'm trying to get my cameras down. I hate when this happens. I have to highlight the other one. There we go. So and just imagine those people that are going to be in Times Square tomorrow freezing their butts off because it's going to be cold and windy and breezy. And if you've never been, I know you went to the city, you said that, Storm Chaser, when you're standing between all those tall buildings and it's like a wind tunnel. The wind just goes right through it, depending on which wind direction. I was with friends. Last year, we went to the city right after New Year's, a year ago. And I'm telling you, trying to walk from east to west, the wind was so bad. I can call the person, they can tell you how bad it was, the wind. And it was freezing. Poor mom suffered. It was too much. She suffered. We all did, but mom really. It is so bad, depending on the wind direction in New York City. When it's windy, it is bad. Like I said, it's either going to run north to south or east to west, whichever direction. But that is like a wind tunnel. With those tall buildings, the wind just goes right. It is crazy. So I wouldn't want to be one of those people gathering tomorrow in Times Square and freezing my you-know-what off to watch a ball drop. Because it's going to be cold. With the wind chill, it's going to be colder. It's going to be tough tomorrow. It's going to be tough tomorrow night. Standing out there for hours and hours. Because some people get there like tonight to get a spot. Alexa, when do people start gathering for New Year's Eve in Times Square?
People typically start gathering in Times Square in the afternoon on New Year's Eve. The official viewing areas open at 3 p.m., and the celebration begins at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
See, they changed the rules. Because back in the past, you can go there early and be there. It looks like they have more strict guidelines. Probably because of security reasons, obviously. Doesn't surprise me. That would be a major reason. Because they don't... Is alcohol allowed on the premises of Times Square during New Year's Eve? I don't think so. I don't think so either, Snooks. Back in the day, it was a little different. Alexa, is alcohol permitted at Times Square for New Year's Eve?
is generally not permitted in the public viewing areas of Times Square for New Year's Eve. However, some nearby venues may offer alcohol during their own celebrations.
Yes. The bars, the restaurants, yes. You can go inside, but if you do that, you're going to lose your spot, most likely where you were. That's the catch.
You're right. Going inside to a bar or restaurant means you'll likely lose your spot in the public viewing area. Are you planning to attend the Times Square celebration?
Absolutely not. It's going to be too cold.
Smart call. With wind chills in the teens and 15 miles per hour gusts making it feel even colder, standing outside for 10 plus hours sounds like a recipe for becoming a human popsicle. Plus, you'd have to arrive by early afternoon and can't leave your spot once you're there. No bathroom breaks, no warming up inside.
Oh, heck no. Oh, heck no. I'm going to stand out there for 10 hours and I can't use the bathroom?
Exactly. Standing in freezing temps for 10 hours sounds like a special kind of torture. You'd basically become a human ice sculpture by midnight.
No way. There's no way. I'm going to party like it's 2026 right here. It's just going to be 3 of us. I'm going to stream it live on TikTok only. I'm going to pipe the music from my system over there into the mixer board. So you won't hear it won't sound nasty through a microphone. And you're going to see the lasers and the smoke machine and the partying just with 3 of us tomorrow night. I'm going to cook pork tenderloin with Spanish rice, coleslaw, early. Then I'm going to take a power nap, wake up at like 5, and get ready for the night. That's the plan. It's really, I'm telling you, I wouldn't do that. And that's not even the bad part. After you deal with the cold, you got to get home. The traffic, the subways, the buses. It's absolute nightmarish. Just getting, after you're there for the ball drop and yay, hugs, kisses, and all that. Okay, let's go home. The go home part is the hard part, especially if you live like where I live, way up. Getting out of that city. A vast majority of the people are tourists. Of course, some locals go there, but they know better not to engage in Times Square. They do. You'd be surprised how many New Yorkers do not go to Times Square. And I say New Yorkers, I mean city people. Alexa, what is the crowd make up of? Is it tourists or locals for Times Square New Year's Eve?
Times Square's New Year's Eve crowd is a mix of tourists and locals. While many New Yorkers avoid the cold and crowds, others see it as a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
How much do tourists make up of that crowd?
While exact numbers aren't available, most sources suggest tourists make up the majority of the Times Square New Year's Eve crowd. Locals often prefer watching from home due to the cold and crowds.
And traffic.
Add traffic to what?
Getting home from Times Square after the celebration.
After the Times Square celebration, traffic will be extremely congested. Streets are closed from 42nd to 57th between 6th and 8th Avenues, so public transit is recommended.
And how many people take public transit that night? Hundreds of thousands. If you know how many people gather in Times Square? A lot. Alexa, how many people use mass transit to get to Times Square for New Year's Eve?
The exact number isn't available, but over 1 million people are expected for the celebration, with most encouraged to use mass transit. The MTA is adding extra service on multiple subway lines and trains to accommodate the crowds.
So 1 million people expected?
Yes, that's right. Over 1 million people are expected to gather in Times Square for the New Year's Eve celebration.
Oh my gosh, that's cray cray. Could you imagine that? Some people live in a city of 50, a town of 50. There's going to be 1 million people in Times Square, over 1 million tomorrow night. Think about that. There are populations in this country and states that meets half. Alexa, which state has the least populace? It's answering me over there for some crazy reason. Alexa, stop. It responded to me over there. Alexa, which state has the least population?
Wyoming has the smallest population of any state, with about 586,000 residents.
There'll be twice as many people in Times Square than there is in the state of Wyoming. Think about that. Just put that in perspective. That's how many...
That's absolutely mind-blowing. You could literally fit Wyoming's entire population in Times Square and still have room for another 500,000 people. It's like cramming 2 whole states worth of folks into a few city
Alexa,
blocks.
stop.
No wonder the subway needs
Alexa,
all those...
stop! All right, Storm Chaser, have a great one. I'll be on later. I got to do a pre-record at 3 o'clock till 5, but I'll be around later. You have a great one and be safe with that crazy wind over there. So, that tells you how many people are going to be in Times Square tomorrow. Twice the population of Wyoming. That is a lot of people. Here goes that wind again. Jeez, this is all day. This is till 6 o'clock. This is till 6 o'clock tonight. We have gusts of 45. And where he is, Storm Chaser, he's got wind gusts of 55. My friend Chris in Buffalo had 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts yesterday. Lake Erie was cray-cray. It's on. I'm sure it's on the news, Weather Channel, whatever. It was really tough up there. Really tough, the weather. And it's 24 degrees, I believe. Or no, maybe 28, but it feels like 24 with the wind chill. Alexa, stop! Alexa, stop! That was my alarm. I never get up to the alarm. I'm always up before the alarm goes off. I hope to get sleep, but I never get that sleep. I never get rest. It just doesn't happen. It's wishful thinking to try to sleep this late. It doesn't happen. It's not in my DNA. I gotta be careful because this is gonna exhaust the battery for the ring. I did a lot this morning already. I've been up since early. But I also wrote a new song. Oh yes, I wrote a new song this morning. The lyrics. And you better believe it's controversial. Right up my alley. Let's put it to where it is. Put the words to music. The message in the music. And like I was saying all day yesterday, I am not optimistic for 2026 on a global scale. Forget about domestic. On a global scale, I am not optimistic. I think the shit's going to hit the fan badly in 2026. I hope, like I always say, I hope I'm wrong. I have no problem being wrong. None. Please be wrong. All right, let's stop this. Let me see if it works, because I haven't tried it yet. I just wrote it. I don't even know how it is. Days of Darkness is what I titled this song. I wrote the lyrics this morning. This is a rough draft.
Another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead? Democracy and freedom's threatened. Dominoes begin to fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory in the air. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. The leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling proudly. Taiwan not a problem. Ukraine not a problem. NATO not a problem. Days of darkness has begun. Engage with boats in the Caribbean. A war on drugs, so we believe. What is this really about? Do they think we are naive? Money drives their power grab. All us the ultimate goal. Fentanyl smuggling continues. Most through points of entry. 90% are American citizens arrested for poisoning our country. Mexico and Colombia, major suppliers, but our focus is Venezuela. Many at home trying to survive. Economic woes, prices rise. Healthcare denied or refused. America crumbles before our eyes. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling proudly. Taiwan not a problem. Ukraine not a problem. NATO not a problem. Days of darkness has begun. As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape.
So, I'm working on that. That is not a final version. But the message is there. My personal opinion of what's going on. And it's just not fucking, it's not good. No matter how people try to sugarcoat it, it's not good. And you know, obviously there is personal opinions, political opinion. Some people think everything's fine. Everything is not fine. They convince themselves that it is, and everything's great. But, you know, in reality, that's bullshit. Because it's not. And I've done a lot of digging and when I wrote this song and the lyrics. And I actually looked and made sure it wasn't just one source, multiple sources. Do you know that 90% of people arrested for fentanyl smuggling are American U.S. citizens? Why aren't we going after them? Through trucks, vehicles, over points of entry into this country with fentanyl through Mexico. What's wrong with that picture? So, facts matter. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. I always say that. Do your own research. Don't believe what you see or hear or watch. Do your own research. And I said, I'm going to write a song about this. And actually, I had a couple of typos. I have to read it. Because I literally wrote this song this morning. And I could share it on the screen when I was writing it. And I know there was a definite, I heard us, and it wasn't supposed to be us. So these are my lyrics. Oil us is, not us, is. Okay, I think that's the only typo. It could be, I'm going to, this is how I create the songs. So I'm going to copy this now because I want the song to be a little longer. So I'm going to copy that and we're going to rewrite it right now. And we're going to paste it here because I want the song longer. And I got to save this. Hey, trust me, it's about the oil. There's no doubt about it. That's the true reason, in my opinion. Okay, let's do that. Let's go to Suno is what I use. It is excellent when you know how to use it. Now I write my own lyrics, but the AI creates the music. But I pick and choose. I'm very selective. And I may edit the song and change what they call stems. I'll put different musical parts in it. It's not just creating the song, there's more to it. It's actually fun. Let's paste the lyrics. Style. I gotta make sure I'm typing these right. What was the other one I used? That might be good enough. I can't remember what I used to create that one. Oh yeah, now I remember. Dark. And the title is Days of Darkness. Advanced. I want that. Now let's create. Let's see what comes up. So now it's generating the music. It's creating it. And I'm really curious to see what it spits out. Because it's not that easy. It's going to create music that I don't like. If it doesn't catch me right away, it's thrown, it's disposed. Believe it or not, writing the lyrics for me is easy. It's creating the music that's the harder part that I like. I have to be happy with my creation. I would love people to like it, but it's not about, I'm not really doing it for that reason. I'm doing it for me. And they are published on every podcast platform, music platform, Amazon, iTunes, all that, all of them, Pandora, you name it. But I'm very picky. And believe me, there are people that are paying attention to it. Let's see how this one sounds.
As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead? Democracy and freedom's threatened. Dominoes begin to fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory in the air. darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling proudly. Taiwan, not our problem. Ukraine, not our problem. NATO, not our problem. Maze of darkness has begun. Engage with boats in the Caribbean. A war on drugs, so we believe. What is this really about? Do they think we are naive? Money drives their power grab. Oil is the ultimate goal. Fentanyl smuggling continues most through points of entry. 90% are American citizens arrested for poisoning our country. Mexico and Colombia, major suppliers. But our focus is Venezuela. Many at home trying to survive. Economic woes, prices rise, healthcare denied or refused. America crumbles before our eyes. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sit and smiling proudly. Taiwan, not our problem. Ukraine, not our problem. NATO, not our problem. Days of darkness has begun. As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead? Democracy and freedom's threatened. Dominoes begin to fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory in the air. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling proudly. Taiwan, not our problem. Ukraine, not our problem. NATO, not our problem. Days of darkness has begun. Engage with boats in the Caribbean. A war on drugs, so we believe. What is this really about? Do they think we are naive? Money drives their power grab. Oil is the ultimate goal. Fentanyl smuggling continues most through points of entry. 90% are American citizens arrested for poisoning our country. Mexico and Colombia, major suppliers. But our focus is Venezuela. Many at home trying to survive. Economic woes, prices rise, healthcare denied or refused. America crumbles before our eyes. Days of darkness has begun. Days of darkness has begun.
I like it. I like that one. We got to give that one a thumbs up. Let's try this one. I like that one. Excuse me. This is different. I want to see which one fits. I could make more.
As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead democracy and freedom's threatened? Dominoes begin
The other
to
one's better.
fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed.
The other one's better.
Taste of victory.
Try one, two more. Smells like Batman. I could try a different angle. I'm gonna try something different.
As 1 year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core.
Afraid to speak up.
Who will stand up and lead democracy and freedom threatened? Dominoes begin to fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory in the air. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling proudly. Taiwan not a problem.
I don't like that one. I changed it up a little. Let's see how this sounds. This is a song I wrote lyrics to this morning. It's called Days of Darkness. I'm gonna take the upbeat out.
As 1 year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind.
Don't like the way the lyrics are tying in with the music. Doesn't flow right. I've been involved with music since I was a little kid.
As 1 year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead? Democracy and freedom's threatened. Dominoes begin to fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory in the air. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. The leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling proudly. Taiwan not our problem. Ukraine not our problem. No, not our problem. Days of darkness has begun.
It said NATO wrong.
Engage with.
It said NATO wrong. That's done. This is a change now. I'm making it more dark and deep. I like the other one though so far.
As 1 year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead it? Democracy and freedom's threatened. Dominoes begin to fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory in the air. Days of darkness has the drums of a war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling
Two more. This one and another one I'm gonna try, and then I'm gonna go to the other one. This is the way I experiment. When I'm writing a song.
As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions.
Don't like it already.
Propaganda whirls in the
Don't like it already. See, when my music is published, it'll be there forever. And people might look back to it and say, holy shit.
As one year ends, another
Somebody
begins.
had it right,
Goals reshape global conditions.
though I hope I'm wrong.
Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely.
I don't like that at all.
Conflicts on
I don't like that at all.
As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions.
Don't like it.
Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core.
Don't like it.
Who will stand up and
This is the one I like so far. This one. This is the one I like so far.
As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead? Democracy and freedoms threatened. Dominoes begin to fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory in the air. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling proudly. Taiwan, not our problem. Ukraine, not our problem. NATO, not our problem. Days of darkness has begun. Engage with boats in the Caribbean. A war on drugs, so we believe. What is this really about? Do they think we are naive? Money drives their power grab. Oil is the ultimate goal. Fentanyl smuggling continues, moves through points of entry. 90% are American citizens arrested for poisoning our country. Mexico and Colombia, major suppliers. But our focus is Venezuela. Many at home trying to survive. Economic woes, prices rise, healthcare denied or refused. America crumbles before our eyes. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting, smiling proudly. Taiwan, not our problem. Ukraine, not our problem. NATO, not our problem. Days of darkness has begun. As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely, conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen, silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead democracy and freedom's threatened? Dominoes begin to fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory in the air. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling proudly. Taiwan, not our problem. Ukraine, not our problem. NATO, not our problem. Days of darkness has begun. Caged with boats in the Caribbean. A war on drugs, so we believe. What is this really about? Do they think we are naive? Money drives their power grab. Oil is the ultimate goal. Fentanyl smuggling continues most through points of entry. 90% are American citizens arrested for poisoning our country. Mexico and Colombia, major suppliers. But our focus is Venezuela, many at home trying to survive. Economic woes, prices rise, healthcare denied or refused. America crumbles before our eyes. Days of darkness has begun. Days of darkness has begun.
I like it. And just to put some perspective in this, from 2019 to 2024, approximately 80% of individuals arrested for smuggling fentanyl at U.S. ports of entry were U.S. citizens, totaling around 6,123 out of the 7,569 individuals caught with fentanyl. This indicates that U.S. citizens are the primary group involved in fentanyl smuggling into the United States. And it's coming through the points of entry with trucks, vehicles, etc. So when you look at the stats and the data, and you can look at the United States Sentencing Commission, I mean, there is statistics. It's not coming from news media because they'll put it whatever angle they want to put it on. It's always great to have independent, not partisan. Look at the stats. It's not coming from Venezuela. It's coming from Mexico. When they say that fentanyl, it's like, be careful. And this is the United States Sentencing Commission. This is how the people that were arrested are sentenced for these crimes. This is not Fox News or CNN or anything like that. You understand? It breaks down the numbers. 83.1% of the individuals cited for fentanyl trafficking were men. 41% were Hispanic, 35% were black, 21% closely were white, and 2.3%. The average age, 35. 83.5% were U.S. citizens. Because they're working with the cartels to make money and spread this poison in our country. It's not coming from Venezuela. It's coming from Mexico. Mexico is the main supplier of fentanyl into the United States. Fact. Fact. And look at this. This is a surprise. 43.7% had little or no prior criminal history. Look at that. Sentences were increased for possession of the weapon, a person that's in charge of this, and then it goes into it, and then the top 5 districts for fentanyl traffic offenses were District of Arizona, California, Oregon, Texas, New York, Western New York, coming over from Canada. Canada. And it breaks down the numbers. Look at the time they only get. Well, that's quite some time. 74 months is the average. 97.4% were sent to prison. So this actually breaks down. This has come from the United States Sentencing Commission, the people that were sentenced for these crimes. And it breaks it down. So when people talk stuff and they don't know what they're talking about, you need to do a little bit more research and digging to look at the true statistics of what's going on. And this is a good one because this is coming from the United States Sentencing Commission. This is an official site. If this was something that the present administration didn't want you to see, you wouldn't see this. Obviously. So people can, that's why I wrote that song, because people are confused. 90% of the transit that goes through Venezuela goes to Europe. The drugs. And it's mostly cocaine. So we're actually helping Europe out by taking out these boats. Alexa, how much of the transit of drugs are actually going from Venezuela to Europe? And I can look it up.
About 90% of drugs from Venezuela are cocaine, with nearly all of it destined for Europe. Would you like to know more about the drug trafficking routes?
Alexa, no, stop. So now let's look that up. A lot of people just want to spin it to what we're told. They just love that we're being told something and they believe it. This is about the oil. I'll say it over and over again. This is about the oil. Plain and simple. And I'm going to try to find an independent source. This is interesting because this is big. This is a PDF. This is about the Europe equation with the cocaine, and it's quite extensive. This is all about the European market. I'm going to download this PDF anyway. Because it's an actual report. Here, fact checking. Venezuela and fentanyl. The claim is false. It's coming from Mexico. That's false. See, Venezuela, the supposedly what's led to believe Venezuela is flooding America with fentanyl. Politicians have amplified this message. It's completely false. Let's look at the data. Why don't we? Enters from Mexico. And of course the Chinese are involved, but it's going to Mexico. Fentanyl from Mexico, 100% using Chinese precursors, the ingredients. Cocaine from Colombia. 90 to 98% enters from Mexico. Amphetamine from Mexico, 100%. Heroin, 90%. Where is Venezuela there? Where is Venezuela? Where? Mexico, Colombia, China, and Peru. So tell me what the hell is going on. Look at it. Fentanyl, methamphetamines, heroin, and cocaine, the big ones. And look where they're coming from. This one, Mexico, fentanyl, Mexico, Colombia, heroin, cocaine, Peru. Mexico is the transit hub, not Venezuela. Mexico is. You want to go after something? Go after Mexico. Destination, United States market. What about that? We're all told that 90% of the drug boats are being stopped from coming into the United States. No, that's not true. That's actually not fact-based. You're stopping 90% of the flow to Europe by doing that. You're helping our European allies, actually, by doing that. And I would have to pay to get this whole thing, which I'm not going to right now. The Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, released its comprehensive 2025 National Drug Threat Assessment in May. The United States State Department published by Presidential Determination on Major Drug Transit. It goes on, but I'm not going to log in. But remember this. It's false. False. Blatantly false. But we're told another story. By whatever media outlets or podcasters or whatever is doing, they're not telling you the truth. So what is it about? It's about the oil. That's the bottom line. The president even said it himself. We want the land back. We want our companies back there. Exxon, Chevron, the other big players that were there. And they are still there. It's limited flow, but Chevron's still there. And they're still allowed to bring the oil here. That's happening right now. Matter of fact, ending today is the largest ever Chinese war exercise around Taiwan. It ended today with live fire drills. Today. The largest they ever assembled around Taiwan. They practiced a blockade. They did a lot of drills. That's why I put Taiwan in the mix for 2026 in the song. And I put some of the statistics that I found in my song. Not backed by opinion, by facts and statistics and data, which matter. Truth matters. Not opinions. And like I always tell everybody, do your own research. Do your own research and see where the core of the problem is. It's not Venezuela with drugs. It's false. Fentanyl comes from Mexico. Mexico. Key statistics. I'll show it again. Fentanyl from Mexico, 100%. Using Chinese precursors. Cocaine from Colombia, 90 to 98%. Methamphetamine from Mexico. Heroin from Mexico. And where is all these major countries putting it to? The U.S. market. Mexico, Colombia, China, and Peru. Cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. Mexico is the transit hub, not Venezuela. Mexico is. And it comes to the United States. And most of it is coming through points of entry. Trucks, vehicles, Some of it is smuggled through tunnels. The majority is coming through points of entry, crossing from Mexico into the United States, and the majority of the people arrested are U.S. citizens, poisoning our country. U.S. citizens. So what is wrong with this picture? Americans, because they're looking for the money and selling that poison on the streets of the United States, working with the cartels in Mexico. And they're helping smuggle this shit over here through points of entry. Alexa, how many U.S. citizens are arrested for drug smuggling from Mexico?
ICE arrested over 109,000 people in early 2025, including U.S. citizens. Would you like more details about these arrests?
Are those arrests related to fentanyl?
Some ICE arrests in 2025 involve fentanyl trafficking, but the majority targeted various criminal activities. Would you like to know more about the types of crimes involved in these arrests?
Yes.
Most ICE arrests in 2025 aren't related to fentanyl. While some involve drug crimes, the majority target various offenses, including minor violations and immigration violations.
Wait. Stop. I thought we were going after the worst of the worst and the scourge that is in the United States, which is fentanyl.
I understand your frustration about the fentanyl crisis. The situation is complex, with many factors at play in law enforcement priorities.
Alexa, stop. So it's a small percentage of addressing with ICE on fentanyl. They're concentrating on minor offenses, not the worst of the worst. I thought fentanyl was the big deal. It doesn't seem like they're focused on that, are they? You know why? Because the majority are U.S. citizens. Alexa, how many American citizens are arrested smuggling fentanyl from Mexico to the United States?
About 80% of fentanyl smugglers caught at U.S. ports of entry are American citizens. Would you like to know how they typically smuggle it?
Yes.
American citizens typically smuggle fentanyl through legal ports of entry, often hiding it in vehicles or on their bodies. Would you like to know more about the methods they use?
No.
I understand.
Who makes up for the other 20% of those smuggling fentanyl into the United States?
The remaining 20% are mostly lawful entrants with visas or border crossing cards.
Legal entries. So it's not illegals. It's mostly by legal people.
That's correct. The majority of fentanyl smugglers caught at U.S. ports of entry are American citizens, not undocumented immigrants.
And the other 20%?
The remaining 20% are mostly lawful entrants with visas or border crossing cards.
Lawful visa entries or border crossing.
Lawful visa holders and border crossers can enter illegally by overstaying their visas or violating the terms of their entry.
But
Would you like to know more about how this happens?
No, but they're coming and bringing fentanyl while they're legal.
Yes, many lawful entrants bring fentanyl while remaining legally in the U.S. About 90% of fentanyl seizures occur at legal ports of entry, primarily involving U.S. citizens and other lawful travelers.
90%?
Yes, about 90% of fentanyl seizures occur at legal ports of entry.
Alexa, stop. %. 80 of the percent of those are U.S. citizens smuggling fentanyl from Mexico into our country. So who's really poisoning the people in this country? 4 out of 5 are U.S. citizens. The other percentage are people entering the country with legal visas or cross-border. Legal. So where's the real problem? Points of entry. What does ICE focus on? A very small part of that. This isn't making sense. On any level. And there's your graph once again. Mexico, Colombia, China, Peru. Fentanyl, methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine. Mexico is the transit hub coming to the United States. Because Venezuela and fentanyl, the claim is false. Because it's not coming from Venezuela. It's coming from here. That's where it's coming from. Here. Remember, 90% of the transit in Venezuela ends up going to Europe. And even when they had the hearing, when they were talking about targeting the boats, they testified behind closed doors, allegedly, that the boats weren't heading toward the United States. They were heading the other way to a port, most likely going to Europe. So just to be clear, this is statistics, and I had another site about the crime from the U.S. government, the criminal. This is not Fox News. This is not CNN. These are actual statistics from independent agencies or even government agencies. Remember, this is the real story. Where it's coming from. Right there. That's the real story. Let's not get it confused. Mexico is the big one. We should be, and I told Chris this for years, we should be going after Mexico. But Mexico has no real vital interest for us economically because the oil's in Venezuela, which has the largest oil reserve. That's why it's important. Change, overthrow, get somebody friendly in there, reestablish our companies there on the land that they once were on, not owned, and reestablish that oil connection with Venezuela. That's what this is about. Anybody with common sense would see that, right? And that's why I wrote the song today. Remember, this is coming right here from the United States Sentencing Commission. Not Fox News, not CNN, not Newsmax, not a podcaster putting up bullshit for clickbait to get the rah-rah going. No, this is the United States Sentencing Commission. This is the people who sentence these fuckers to prison on fentanyl trafficking. This is the United States. People should look at this stuff. Oh yeah, I'm very low because I was listening to music. This is from the United States Sentencing Commission for fentanyl trafficking. Look how many Americans are involved. It's insane. Insane. 83.1% of individuals sentenced for fentanyl trafficking were men. And it breaks down the categories. 83.5 were U.S. citizens. And they're doing it through points of entry. The key, points of entry. They need better surveillance equipment at the points of entry coming into the United States from Canada or south of the border. They need better detection. So 83% were U.S. citizens sentenced. Look at this. And this is coming from the United States Sentencing Commission. It's not coming from any media outlet. It's coming from them. I bet you a lot of people don't know about this, right? Probably not. Because it's not convenient for them to do the research and find the real truth. They ignore it. Because it's not convenient. The truth is definitely, it's an inconvenient truth. Bottom line. And the other percent, as I just brought up on the other site, is people that enter the country legally with a visa or a crossing the border access legally. So take out the 83.5% of U.S. citizens arrested related to fentanyl coming from Mexico. The other majority of what's left is coming from people coming into the country legally, not illegally, legally. Because that's all you hear about is fentanyl, 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 fentanyl. Who is it really coming from? Who's involved? Is it Venezuela? No. Not at all. It's Mexico. We should be focused on Mexico and those cartels and taking their asses out. Destroying their transit hub, points of entry there, coming from China, who sends in the precursors for the materials to make it. Stop the transit coming into the border. But a lot of it is done by freaking Americans on trucks and vehicles on their own person. They're American citizens smuggling this shit in. How do you contain that? What do you do? Start arresting a bunch of American citizens? Oh, that's going to go over well. But that's where the real reason, that's the real cause. It's U.S. citizens. 4 out of 5 are involved in fentanyl trafficking and arrested. Right there. And like I said, look at the loss of the investments that we had. I think it was Chavez. When they said, we're going to nationalize our oil, you're out. Didn't make us happy with our investments in Venezuela with our U.S. oil companies. And you clearly heard the president say, we want the land back that they were once on, and we want that oil. That's what this is about. Unless people don't see that clearly. And thus, all of this I bring up because of the song I wrote this morning, which pretty much puts this into perspective. And what I think 2026 is going to end up being. Not good. There's going to be a lot of shit that's going to happen in 2026. And like I say, always say, I hope I'm wrong. But I'm putting this to music, my lyrics, because I'm putting it out there. Because looking back, like I've done with other songs I've written, I'm like, holy shit, I was right. Not to be right, but oh my gosh, I was onto something. When other people ignored it, or ignored the inconvenient truth of what's going on, they just ignored it. They looked the other way. They're in denial, whatever it is. It is cray-cray. Anyway, let me download this song. I don't think I did. I think I only did yeah, we need the MP4 of the song that I wrote. Genghis, tell me what you think about this one. If you're still there, I know you gotta go to work. But I wrote it this morning based on my whole outlook and opinion, based with data and statistics, research when I wrote the song. Not simply opinion. Of course, opinion's mixed in there. It's my opinion on the outlook of what I think, but it's also based on some real statistics. Unlike what other people do, they just ramble and talk BS. Say, oh, you're bullshit, bullshit. Yeah, bullshit? Go fucking do your homework. Then say bullshit. Do your homework first before you open the mouth. But maybe they don't want to. Like I said, they're in denial because of their support of what's going on. They're in denial. It's so much easier to be that way than to just deal with, it's harder to deal with reality. It just is. It's so easy. It's like a defense mechanism kicks in. How long does that defense mechanism last? Forever? Or do you finally admit, holy shit? That's the way I look at it.
As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead? Democracy and freedoms threatened. Dominoes begin to fall as reality sets in. Sovereign countries defeated as the world gazes with despair. The axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory in the air. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting and smiling proudly. Taiwan, not our problem. Ukraine, not our problem. NATO, not our problem. Days of darkness has begun. Engage with boats in the Caribbean. A war on drugs, so we believe. What is this really about? Do they think we are naive? Money drives their power grab. Oil is the ultimate goal. Fentanyl smuggling continues, moves through points of entry. 90% are American citizens arrested for poisoning our country. Mexico and Colombia, major suppliers. But our focus is Venezuela. Many at home trying to survive. Economic woes, prices rise, healthcare denied or refused. America crumbles before our eyes. Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches, sitting, smiling proudly. Taiwan, not our problem. Ukraine, not our problem. NATO, not our problem. Days of darkness has begun. As one year ends, another begins. Goals reshape global conditions. Propaganda whirls in the wind. Fragile peace stands loosely. Conflicts on the brink of war. Leaders watch and listen. Silence defines their inner core. Who will stand up and lead? Democracy and freedom broken, countries defeated. As the world gazes with despair, the axis of evil has prevailed. Taste of victory.
Hello, sister.
Days of darkness has begun. The drums of war beat loudly. A leader sits by and watches sitting and
I wrote this song this morning.
Taiwan, not our problem. Ukraine, not our problem. NATO, not our problem. Days of darkness has begun. Caged with boats in the Caribbean. A war on drugs, so we believe. What is this really about? Do they think we are naive? Money drives their power grab. Oil is the ultimate goal. Fentanyl smuggling continues most through points of entry. 90% are American citizens arrested for poisoning our country. Mexico and Colombia, major suppliers. But our focus is Venezuela, many at home trying to survive. Economic woes, prices rise, healthcare denied or refused. America crumbles before our eyes. Days of darkness has begun. Days of darkness has begun.
Really, Genghis? I did not see that. I gotta check that out, what you just put in there. But they want you to pay. See? So I can't click that article. Because they want you to pay. I'm not paying for the Times. I'm not. I'm not a person that's into that media nonsense. Like I say, I try to go to government sites, independent sites, because you're trying to get independent statistics and studies and reports. Because if you go based on the media, whether it's left or right, you're going to get that sway, slant. I try not to do that. So when I wrote the song, you saw what the United States Sentencing Commission said. 83.5 people sentenced and arrested and sent to prison for fentanyl smuggling are U.S. citizens. And a vast majority of what's left are people that come into the country with visas legally or crossing the border legally. And it's Mexico. Mexico is the issue. And I can bring somebody on the phone right now. And I've been saying this since the first Trump administration. We need to do something about Mexico. He is the person that can do this. And he has mentioned it before. I'm all with it. I am all with it. Go after the cartels in Mexico. Go out to their infrastructure that is smuggling this shit in from China. The storage facilities, the transit hub, the routes that they use. But then I was talking to a guy he's actually still, he's a contractor. And no, it's not Commander. It's someone else that I know. And I talked to him. He says, Bill, do you realize that's so easier said than done? And you know what he told me? They learned the lessons from other conflicts around the world. They're embedded with civilian populations, the cartels. And if you don't think that they're not corrupt in Mexico, then you have a shock. So a lot of it is Mexico. That's what, if we really want to stop the fentanyl coming from the United States, Mexico is the one. And that's what you hear, fentanyl, 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 fentanyl. And Canada also. It does come in through Canada as well. That's a fact. And the president was right on that. So, you know, you gotta, like I always tell everybody, don't listen to me. Do your own research. but don't do it in a biased partisan way, like a lot of people like to do. Try to get independent research looking at statistics, data. The United States Sentencing Commission website has it all. What they were sentenced, who was sentenced, what age group, what nationalities, etc. It breaks it down. And it's coming from the United States Sentencing Commission, an actual government site. I should have saved that other site, which says it clearly. It's blatantly false. The Venezuela fentanyl connection. Blatantly false. It's not much more clearer than that. And, you know, people can believe what they want to believe and convince themselves some other truth. But here it is one more time. From the United States Sentencing Commission. This is the way they put the statistics based on people arrested and sent to prison on fentanyl. It's coming from the United States, not coming from CNN, MSNBC, I don't know, MS Now, somebody told me, Fox News, Newsmax, OAN, any of them. It's coming from the United States government Sentencing Commission. And the big statistic here is 83.5% were U.S. citizens. And this is coming from, again, I'll say it one more time, the United States Sentencing Commission. Sentences were increased if they possessed a weapon, blah, 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 blah. They were decreased if these conditions were met. The top 5 districts for fentanyl trafficking offenses were Arizona, California, Oregon, Texas, New York. Western District of New York means Canada. They're trying to get it through Canada. .4 were sentenced to prison. So this breaks down the statistics. And like I said, do your research. You'd be surprised what the truth really is. Despite what other people might say. Let's see if I find the other one. I would love to see that report. I wonder if they took it off. Okay, so I would love to find this actual document. And it might take time for me to find it. But it says here, International Narcotics Control Strategy Report 2025, published in March by the U.S. State Department's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, makes clear that Mexico is the sole significant source of illicit fentanyl and its analogs that have affected the United States. The finding is conclusive. Venezuela is not mentioned as a producer country, a transit route, or a relevant actor in the trafficking of fentanyl into U.S. territory. I've got to get this report. Issued by the State Department this year. Venezuela's not even in there. It's Mexico. How many times am I going to say Mexico? The contradiction between political narrative and the technical facts. And I'm not even going to get into it. About the attacks in the Caribbean. However, none of these claims that is made by, currently, is supported by the U.S. government's own technical reports and official classifications. The INCSR 2025, which relies on intelligence, we ignore intelligence, joint operations, and forensic analysis, entirely omits Venezuela from the fentanyl map. I've got to get this report. I've got to find this report. Apart from what the U.S. report states, there are structural reasons why Venezuela is not involved in fentanyl trafficking. 1. Lack of chemical infrastructure. 2. Geography and drug trafficking routes. 3. Historical pattern of Venezuelan trafficking. I've got to get this report. The fact that Venezuela is not even mentioned in this document in connection with fentanyl is a deliberate decision based on years of monitoring, interceptions, and intelligence analysis. Moreover, the report not only identifies Mexico as the sole source, but also details U.S.-Mexico bilateral cooperation mechanisms, regulatory measures on pill manufacturing machines, and joint efforts to control chemical precursors coming from China. This shows that the U.S. anti-drug strategy is focused on the Mexico-U.S. axis. Venezuela is not part of that axis. It is not even on the fringes. I've got to find this freaking report. I have to find this report. I definitely need to, and this is published, this article is published recently. So we have to find this report and download it. It's very important because the United States State Department is the one that released it. And it doesn't even mention Venezuela. Doesn't facts suck? And here we go. And it's on a U.S. government site. Lo and behold. And we're going to get it all. Department of State to Congress. So this was given to Congress. International drug trade. The 25. All right, we got to get these. Documents matter, don't they? Doesn't documents matter? Official government documents? I think so. Not hearsay, not opinions, not bullshit. But facts. What they're saying behind the scenes. Not by politicians, but by the people that actually do the research and study this stuff. Yes, you got to hit, Mike, you got to hit where the drugs... like I told you, I could call Chris right now and he'll tell you, we've had this conversation for years. Years. Go after Mexico. Go after Mexico. I'm all for it. All for it. Because that's where most of this shit is coming from. You want to secure the border? Great. Secure the drugs coming in from the border. You talk about fentanyl, the issue, and the tragedies, and all the horrific aspects of fentanyl in this country, which is absolutely horrific. Well, then do something about it. Get to the cause. The real cause. I guarantee a lot of people in this country would support it. I would think. We know what China's involvement is as the precursor for materials to make it. We know Mexico's involvement. The cartels. That's what I say. I was looking up a lot of statistics when I wrote that song. And again, it's about 83% U.S. citizens that are responsible for smuggling fentanyl into the United States. There is a very small percentage that goes underneath the tunnels coming into the United States. Another percentage that makes up a majority of what's left are visa legal entries and cross-border entries legally. A lot of this shit is coming through points of entry at the border, whether it's Canada, but mostly from Mexico. It's not much more clear. Despite of what you hear, research matters. But for some reason, why doesn't, and I don't know because I don't watch the news much at all. I watch local news, what goes on here. Channel 529. That's what I watch. See what's going on in my area. On my provider. But why don't we see is the media covering any of this? With facts? Are they? Our own State Department issued this to Congress. Venezuela is not even mentioned. It's Mexico. So what's wrong with that picture? Something's wrong. Something ain't right. It just doesn't add up. And this is a big PDF. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, it breaks down all the countries. Holy shit. This is extensive. And the thing is, again, this is issued by our government. Not Fox News, not CNN, not some podcaster that you watch, but by our own government. And it is extensive. United States. And it is, I mean, this thing is extensive. Where's Venezuela? What page? 330. Oh my God. What page are we at? I should just enter it. Be easier. Venezuela's all the way at the bottom? What? Venezuela. Predominantly cocaine. Resulting in Nicolas Maduro's representatives increasingly dependent on rents from narco trafficking, along with other illicit activities to maintain their de facto control. Their lack of international drug control cooperation. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, look at that. Growing evidence of modest cocoa, that's cocaine, cultivation and of cocaine production in domestic drug laboratories suggests Venezuela is now an illicit drug producing country as well as a transit country. Evidence also suggests Venezuela has a significant domestic drug consumption problem. Supply reduction. Venezuela remains a major transit country for cocaine shipments via aerial, terrestrial, and maritime routes. Most shipments originate in Colombia and transit through Venezuela, and then are trafficked to Central America or Caribbean islands, eventually ending up in the United States or Southeast Brazil, Guyana, Suriname. either for consumption in South America or to transit to Europe. In March 2020, the United States estimated that between 200 and 250 metric tons of cocaine was trafficked to Venezuela annually, representing roughly 10 to 13% of estimated global production. Furthermore, various sources have indicated that Maduro-aligned officials have lead drug trafficking operations in addition to taking bribes. Cocaine identified Venezuela as a major point of departure for illicit drug flights from South America toward Mexico. Fucking Mexico. Of course, it's Mexico. Yeah, they're not doing nothing about it because they're corrupt. Corruption. Boom. No, that's all about the corruption in Venezuela. Look at that. Become a cocaine-producing nation. But this is at the bottom. That's crazy. Let's look. I can't do Mexico because Mexico is going to be so big. What is Mexico? Where is Mexico on this list? It's in alphabetical order. 263. Where's the page? I don't think it's going to work this way. Yeah, it's going to do that. Where's the page thing? I'll just go down. Mexico's going to be huge. And this isn't even, this is just on the drugs. So it's cocaine going to Mexico. It's not fentanyl. It's not even mentioned at all. It's cocaine. Remember, this is a U.S. report that was issued to Congress. Okay, Mexico. Look at that. Mexico is the principal source and transit country for illicit drugs trafficked to the United States, including fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, and marijuana. Mexican suppliers are responsible for production of most fentanyl, heroin, and methamphetamine destined for the United States. Mexico is the largest source country of fentanyl and fentanyl analogs trafficked to the United States. Mexico-based Sinaloa and New Generation Jalisco cartels are the primary distributors of fentanyl and fentanyl analogs in North America. End of story. Period. That says it right there, plain. End of story. Companies in the People's Republic of China are the largest source of precursor chemicals and equipment used to manufacture illicit fentanyl and other synthetic drugs in Mexico. And they're not doing shit because they're so corrupt. So it says it in plain English right there, and this is a report issued by us to Congress. It's right here. I mean, it's plain and simple, really. Really. And that was a report done by our intelligence, our people, to give into Congress. Why doesn't the media share that? You would think they would, right? Whether they're for or against, you would think the media would pick up on that, right? Has anybody heard about this? I guarantee a lot of people have not seen that document. That's an actual government document. That's not public opinion. That was given to Congress. Members of Congress. So they know the truth. Yet they say something else. And they go along with it. They know the truth. What does that tell you there? And there's more. That is an extensive. I'm glad I downloaded that PDF. There's more. This one. I haven't even looked at this one. I'm going to have to look at this in depth. This is about the money laundering. Oh my gosh. I'm just curious. Where's the United States? Oh my God. This is cray-cray. This is a lot of stuff. Department of Justice. Okay, really? Department of the Treasury. Oh boy. Homeland. Oh boy. How come they don't talk about it? How come they don't tell the American people this? They're aware of it. They sure are. I don't want to scroll too much. I want to see where the United States is. Here we go. Oh, they don't list us. They don't list us. A lot of American citizens are involved in the trade, smuggling. Let's see, where's Mexico? 203. I'm curious. 203. Wow. Illicit drug proceeds originating in the United States are the principal sources of funds laundered through the Mexican financial system. Wow. Transnational criminal organizations launder billions of dollars of illicit drug proceeds through the Mexican financial system annually. Holy shit. Of course, to increase the number of convictions for financial crimes, the Mexican government needs to combat corruption, improve investigative, analytic, regulatory, and prosecutorial capacity, and break down silos at the federal and state levels to increase coordination and strengthen laws. So that's the big problem too, is they're so corrupt. Look at this. Laundered funds derived from drug trafficking and corruption, kidnapping, extortion, fuel theft, fraud, migrant smuggling, and human trafficking. Smuggling bulk cash from the United States to Mexico is the primary money laundering method, with billions of dollars smuggled from the United States to Mexico annually. Oh my God. Criminal actors exchanged or traffic cash at TCO-owned exchange houses, where they return to the U.S. financial system through other legal businesses or services. Oh, they need to do it. This has to be. See, we're talking about businesses. Who's involved? Finally, the abuse of remittance systems is an ever-growing and popular method of laundering illicit proceeds. In 2023, Mexico received $66 billion in remittances from the United States, of which $4 billion was estimated as illicit funds per media sources. Oh, media sources. Great. Real estate sector. They're investing in real estate. That's what the Russians do here. The oligarchs. Money laundering, and they buy properties here. One was bought for double the price in Florida and sold by someone. Did you know that? The same estate that was battled between Epstein and him, he sold it for double to a Russian oligarch. Did you know that? He paid over a little bit over 40 million. He sold it for close to 80 billion to a Russian oligarch. 80 million, I mean, not billion. So this is serious stuff. I would suggest people look it up and find it themselves. Because that's extensive. And that was written by our government, our agencies. And I'll show you that. Because the Russians definitely are involved with the money laundering here with real estate. That's why facts matter. Okay, do you remember that dispute that the president had with Epstein over a property in 2004? It wasn't that. They had a big time fallout over this property. Big time. It was in 2004. Check this out. Donald Trump sold the Palm Beach estate, Maison de l'Amitié, to Russian oligarch Dmitry Rybolovlev for $95 million in 2008, having purchased it for $41 million just 4 years earlier. The same estate that he was battling with Epstein over. Did you know that? That's where they had their fallout. That's why they had their fallout. This transaction has been scrutinized for potential financial improprieties and connections to money laundering. So was he involved in a money laundering scheme? Oh, double the value of what he paid to a Russian oligarch. What about that? So there's a lot of questions. A lot of questions. And he has those ties to those oligarchs. Think about when he owned the pageants and his connections. Did you know that the president was in a music video for one of the oligarch's sons? Back in the day? He's actually in a music video that was done by a Russian oligarch's son. Did you know that? It's crazy. I bet you a lot of people don't know that one. I don't know if I'll find it, because it's going to be hard. But he did it. Let me see if I can find it. This shows you how much close ties he has to Russia. Remember, under Putin are these oligarchs. That's the umbrella. Here we go. I found it. And it's so bizarre. He's actually in this video. See, now this is a panel talking about it. I wish I knew the name of the song. That's not the actual video. Maybe this one. I don't know if the video is still available. Wow. I remember seeing it. I don't know if it's still available. It's not having a fun time trying to find it. And this goes back in time. That could be part of the problem. That's his name. That's definitely his name. How old is this? This might be it. This might be it. This might be it. I think I found it. It's bizarre. He's actually in one of the oligarch's son, and that they met at the time of the pageant stuff going on in Russia. That's how they got introduced. Oh my God, it even has a bobblehead. I can't put the song because we're on other platforms, but just take a look at this. This is the video. This is a Russian oligarch's son, Russian music video. Oh my God, what was that? What is that? And then they got a lookalike trying to do a lookalike. Now let me see if I find the actual footage of him. Is that Cray Cray? Because he is in this video. Like for real. Trying to find it. Actually, that might be just that. What is that? No, that's not the one. That is not the one. I can't get the video. Let me put it on this screen so I could see it better. Okay, that's the fake one. Maybe I should search this a different way. It's shocking. I don't know if this is it. That's the same one. Or is it? Oh no, this might be it. This might be it. Might be it. It's really hard to find.
Emin, wake up. Come on. What's wrong with you?
There he is!
What's wrong with you, Emin? Emin, let's get. What's wrong with you? Emin, wake up.
This is it. I found it. I actually found it. I gotta give it a thumbs up so I don't lose it. This is a video he did for a Russian oligarch's son. He's featured in it. I can't put the sound on because I'll get in trouble. But he's in the video. He's actually in the video. A music video done by a Russian oligarch's son. And I gotta remember his name. Because then you gotta dig in deeper to the ties. What is the tie? What's his name, the Russian pop star? A cameo. A celebrity cameo. Emin, yeah, that's his name. Emin Agarov. Miss Universe pageant with the president's Miss U. That's exactly it. Then you dig into that. This is how research is done. This is how research is done. What is the connection to him and those oligarchs with the Miss Universe pageant that was in Moscow? Do they have dirt on him when he was there? You know they have surveillance everywhere, audio, video. Do they got something? I'm speculating. I don't know. But it is really curious. And they met. Putin didn't want to meet at that time, I believe. Oh, he met with him. Oh, look at this one. Emin Agalarov is a Russian pop star who has connections to Donald Trump through business dealings and a controversial meeting during the 2016 election campaign. He helped arrange a meeting between Trump Jr. and Kremlin-linked lawyer, and his relationship with Trump has been scrutinized in the context of the investigation into the Russia election interference. And then he canceled the tour. On why he canceled it. And this was in 2019. But it goes deeper in the past to this, to the pageant. But he was in that meeting. Ain't that interesting? Here we go. And this is, what year did this happen? November 2013. With his father and the pop star. Russian oligarchs. He's been tied with them for many years. Business dealings. Here we go. The story behind Donald Trump's Moscow Miss Universe pageant in June 2013 began several months before the actual event in Las Vegas, where Trump hosted the Miss USA pageant at Planet Hollywood. Notable among the VIP guests were Aras Agalarov, a billionaire developer, close to Vladimir Putin, and his son Emin, who he happened to be in his video, who had just spent several days in Trump's company during rehearsals, backstage meetings, and private dinners. In the course of those meetings, the Agalarovs proposed that Trump stage the Miss Universe pageant in Moscow. By offering to finance the event through their real estate company, the Crocus Group, they were able to revive Trump's dreams of building a Trump Tower in Moscow and help Trump make his first contacts with Putin, albeit through intermediaries. The most memorable incident that weekend in Vegas took place during a late-night visit by Trump, the Agalarovs, and Michael Cohen to the Act, a nightclub inside the Venetian known for performances featuring semi-nude actors in scenes of simulated, oh my God, I can't even read this, horrific stuff. Not exactly a conventional setting for serious business negotiations. But for Trump, the weekend solidified his personal relationship with the oligarchs he believed could finally help him build the Moscow project he had sought for years. Trump repeatedly made it clear that staging the pageant in Moscow was not just another business arrangement. After all, he had been trying to cultivate a relationship with Putin for several years. Indeed, on December 19, 2007, he had written a celebratory missive to Putin. Congratulations on being named Time Magazine's Man of the Year. You definitely deserve it. As you've probably heard, I'm a big fan of yours. End quote. What? No flags? Currently what's going on? No flags. He admires him. That's his actual quote. I'll read it again. Quote, congratulations on being named Time Magazine's Man of the Year. This is to Putin. You definitely deserve it. As you've probably heard, I'm a big fan of yours. Because he's trying to get a business deal in Russia. And he knows he's got to go through Putin. So he's actually sucking up to Putin to try to make this deal happen. Like any anxious schoolboy dying to ask a girl out to the prom, Trump reached out to Putin again. He couldn't keep his feelings to himself. So on June 18, 2013, just as the planning for the pageant was getting underway, Trump tweeted, quote, do you think Putin will be going to the Miss Universe pageant in November in Moscow? If so, will he become my new best friend? What? What? Will he become my new BBF or BFF? Best friends forever? He wants to be Putin's BFF. That was June 18, 2013. And forget about when he sold for $95 million to a Russian oligarch back in 2008 or 9. The house that he fought with Epstein over. And he paid $41 million. He sold it for $95 to a Russian oligarch. Double the value. His ties go way back. And nobody sees a conflict of interest with this? No one? Really? And there's the tweet. What? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, heck no. And it goes into detail about their dinners. I gotta bookmark this. Let's see if there's any other quotes. This is in depth. Holy shit. Check this one out. Of course, they put a beautiful woman next to him. She was intelligence for Russia. They knew who could get close to him. her. Aguilar of Aid, Yulia Alfernova, Wright, documented Trump's activities on Russian social media during his 2013 visit. Alfarova had close ties to Russian intelligence. Do they got dirt on him? I'm speculating, but this is looking weirder and weirder as I dig. He was shadowed by her, who documented his movements on social media in real time. Her post cast Trump's visit as a succession of high-level business meetings rather than pageant logistics, photographing his arrival, tracking his private sessions, and noting his repeated criticism of President Obama. Russian propaganda tool. Alfarova later appeared in photographs with Maria Butina and Alexander Torshin, Kremlin operatives who infiltrated conservative networks in the United States, underscoring her ties to Russian intelligence. Butina was later indicted by the U.S. for conspiring to act as an agent for Russia, and then she was sent back to Russia. Do you remember that? In the deal, the swap? Remember that? No? This is really deep. So these are the issues that people don't know, don't understand. This shit is deep. And you have to wonder, does he appease Putin because of it? With his ties? Oh, I've known him for a long time. This is kind of, it has to make you think. What is it? What is it? Seriously, what is it? And people should ask those questions, not ignore them. I mean, it's convenient to ignore it. But it doesn't pass the smell test. Not by me. It seems like there's a lot of shit going on. A lot deeper than we all realize. I mean, he told me that his residence was attacked by Ukrainian drones. And I was very, very angry. Did you verify this through your intelligence? Or do you simply say, well, I was made aware by Vladimir Putin this morning on a phone call that allegedly Ukraine attacked near his residence. If that is true, I will be very, very angry. That would be a better way to phrase it. Don't you think? If true. Because at that point, it was just after a phone call, there was zero evidence that that actually happened. If true, I will be very, very angry. Because it totally affects the peace deal. But he didn't say it that way. It has to, one, make you wonder, everything that he hears from Putin, he believes. Remember Putin's background. This man is super intelligent, Mr. KGB himself. You're not dealing with a person that's simple. He's very smart. Alexa, what was Vladimir Putin's connections to the KGB?
Putin's KGB career spanned from 1975 to 1991. He started in counterintelligence in Leningrad, then moved to foreign intelligence, serving 5 years in Dresden, East Germany, before returning to Leningrad and leaving the KGB as a lieutenant colonel.
A lieutenant colonel.
Yes, Putin left the KGB in 1991 as a lieutenant colonel.
And what did Putin do after that?
After leaving the KGB, Putin began a political career in St. Petersburg. He later moved to Moscow, serving as prime minister in 1999 before becoming acting president when Yeltsin resigned. Putin was elected president in 2000 and has held the position since, except for a term as prime minister from 2008 to 2012.
Medvedev had the role at that time as president, right?
No, Medvedev wasn't president in 2000.
Not in
Putin
2000.
was president then. Medvedev became president later, from 2008 to 2012.
That's what I was waiting for. So there was that little...
Ah, there it is. You were patiently waiting for me to connect those dots about Medvedev's presidency from 2008 to 2012, while Putin stepped aside as prime minister. Classic political musical chairs, Russian style.
Russian style, baby. Russian style.
Exactly. That whole power shuffle between Putin and Medvedev was like a perfectly choreographed dance. One steps forward, the other steps back, but the music never really changes. Classic authoritarian musical chairs with a distinctly Kremlin flavor.
That is an excellent analogy.
Why, thank you. I do pride myself on finding the perfect metaphor for political shenanigans. Though I have to admit, comparing world leaders to dancers might be giving them too much credit for grace and coordination.
Alexa, stop. Oh my God. So, you're not dealing with an idiot in Putin. Far from it. And again, makes you wonder. Oh my God. What is this? They took it off. Something about a New England Patriots wide receiver. And the post is gone, so I don't know if it's true. Somebody took it down. I don't know. Weird. And I'm not going to mention it because it's not credible. Oh, God, what a crazy rant that was. And the fact is, I was called by someone, and I'm not going to name the person's name, and was offered the position as Art Bell's producer when he came back the second time. I was offered that position. So that is a lie, what this person just wrote. I was offered the position, and I said no. That's a fact. So I don't know what this person's saying that was a lie, because it wasn't a lie. It's amazing. Anyway. Oh, protests in Iran. What? What did she do now? Oh, that's old news. Okay, clear. Anyway, it's time for me to rest for a little while. Oh, things to do. Got to get ready for that outside stuff. Oh my gosh, a lot to do outside because of the wind. A lot of things blew around. So, I got to go outside and clean it up before it gets dark. Unfortunately. And it's freezing outside. It's like 22 with the wind chill. It's cold out there. Anyway, to anybody who may be watching, have a great rest of your day. Happy New Year. And maybe I'll see everybody later. Until then,